It's hard to put into words what has changed in the past several days. Um, there's an expression, death by a thousand cuts. There's not an expression that's like life by a thousand springs or something. I don't know, but it's, I'm also not somebody who ever, I should say ever, but I'm somebody who tends to need to learn the hard way, like get pretty far along a certain path before I can be like, okay, I can see where this is going. And then I was going to say make a new choice. Who knows if I have a choice? But yeah, I got pretty deep into, not just thought storms, like thought tornadoes, like deep body, more and more surrender to feelings in the body that I just don't have control over, especially in my chest area. It's real deep in there, whatever it is. And it's okay. I think part of me is still trying to like figure out a way to process it, get rid of it. But meanwhile, life has to go on, Life doesn't stop while you're in your process. And we had a beautiful weekend in Dallas going to we went on a little swan paddle boat thing in the canals in Dallas. And oh my God, just a gorgeous pastel sunset, huge sky over us. And the kids were being funny and cute and adventurous. And it's just like whatever's going on my chest. This is nice. This is life. I went to Legoland and Sea Life and Meow Wolf. Dallas is Meow Wolf. The kids love that. It's fun that they're at an age now that we can really take them places and they can really engage and they can even read. Um, so we're not just kind of like trying to explain things to them while they wander off. Um, they can really engage with what's in front of them. And then this morning I read a Facebook post by someone who was talking about when he was first dating his girlfriend, now wife, and how in his mind he came across as trying to be honest about something and it was kind of awkward, but he needed to say it and whatever. And from her perspective, the way she tells the story is he was like Mr. Smooth. He was like, she was just like swooning with how smooth and confident he was. And it's just funny, like what's the truth? How we're perceived, how our story is told by somebody else, or how it feels from the inside. Because from the inside, like George Orwell talked about being in the midst of the Spanish Civil War and how the story told about it later is going to be like heroism, sacrifice, um, or folly, whatever. I mean, there's a million ways to tell that story. But what he remembered was like the hunger and the pubic lice and the like just discomfort of being on the front lines, the boredom. And we're always searching for some perfect story that, like, to be living some clean, well delineated fairy tale that can only really be, the vast majority of the time, told in that way after the fact. While it's going on, you're human, and you're in your human head, and you're feeling your human things. And even the greatest, toughest, most confident apparent leaders are maybe following a script, following conditioning, messing up the world. Even the most humble people can make a fairy tale out of their existence by humbly finding and following the best in themselves. It can be as simple as that, and it can be as complicated as empires, invasions, genocides. And, finding and following the best in yourself might be a death sentence because someone comes along who's not following the best in themselves and they kill you and take your stuff. And I was thinking today about our hummingbird. I think of it as not as in like I possess it, but as in it is my friend, my neighbor, and I haven't seen him around in a while. And I have to wonder if, I mean, there's so many predators of hummingbirds. I wonder if he might have got by a hawk, by a praying mantis, by a spider, by a cat. And there's a sense of like, what was the point of that hummingbird sipping at our flowers all summer if it just comes to that end? But the point was the sipping. The point was the communion. I mean, not point, whatever, the reality of the experience. You got to sip flowers, we got to enjoy our neighbor sipping flowers. Probably took care of a fair few mosquitoes too. So it's not like, I mean, the end goal of everyone is death. That's just, maybe not Peter Thiel. Maybe he's going to find a way to upload his bloated, miserable consciousness so he can sit in a box and be grimly satisfied. Oh, I did it. You know. Um, he's so silly. He could enjoy being human right now instead of fucking around about some future in a box. Anywho, um, I've also started randomly smiling just when I'm in the shower or whatever. Just like there's like it's sort of like there can be a moment of like, what's gonna happen next? What's happening now? What's this? What's life? What's okay? There's water running. Okay, I get that. I mean, you know how the mind goes. It's like tries to make meaning out of everything instead of just being. And then sometimes I just smile at my mind, smile at the water, and it can kind of change the weather in my body. And it's something that and I mean in different ways too, like surprising ways. Like it can feel like I'm a little kid trying to smile in the face of uncertainty, which is what I am. I'm a little kid trying to, I mean, yeah, smiling in the face of uncertainty. That's a brave act, actually. That's an amazing thing. It's a beautiful thing. And it's something I couldn't have done 3 years ago. I would have been way too resentful, way too, no, I'm not just going to smile while everything sucks. I'm not just going to smile in the face of pain. That's burying my feelings. That's invalidating my pain. And finally, I'm at a place where it's like, yeah, I've done the pain thing. I've validated the pain. I think I can. I think I can say fairly confidently that the pain has been given some time, given some consideration, given a lot of presence. And now I'm getting in touch with something else, something that's also there, something that's also buried. Shway shway, as they say in Arabic, little by little. I read another Facebook post. I was trying to stay off Facebook, right? I kind of failed at that. Um, so far, I'll probably think I'll try again. I mean, there's always an excuse. There's always a reason. There's always something interesting going on. Genocide, a ceasefire, a broken ceasefire, no King's Day, fascist this, fascist that. It's like there's always an excuse to plug back in. I read a post on Facebook by a woman who, kind of like Annie Dillard, Pilgrim at Tinker Creek, she's living by a little creek now in a tree house. And, you know, making friends with individual fish in the pond in the creek. And they kind of gather around her and she like preaches sermons to them about um, interconnectedness and union, saying what she needs to hear. The universe talking to itself. And then at the very end of the this beautiful writing, it's like, oh, um, here's my Patreon. Help me keep making content. And it's like, I get that. I'm not mad about that. In a way, it's a great time to be alive because a lot of people who make art or want to communicate with more than fishes have a chance to do that in real time more than people like Thoreau did. He never had much quote unquote success in his material life. I mean, his mortal life, I guess. Um, and I understand feeling a responsibility to speak to more than fishes too. I wonder to what extent being so closely supervised and patronized might change the way people write. Doesn't necessarily though. This person apparently has a job too. Anyway, yeah, she said she lives in a tree house, which I can just imagine. I assume minimal electricity, but I could be wrong. But I can just imagine being plugged in like that to nature and the present instead of always being off halfway around the world digitally, you know. She's still making Facebook ads, or at least posts. I don't know if it was an ad. Who knows? Who knows where the algorithm, the raging current of the algorithm, how it brought this to me. There's such sadness in my smile, but something else too. And that's why it could hurt to smile, because it brought up the sadness, and it still does. But now I'm ready for it. And now I can accept that there's a lot of sadness when I smile. I should say when I smile causelessly, or when I smile in the face of uncertainty. When I smile and it's not a joke I'm telling, or a joke somebody else tells, or, just something here and now. The morning glories I planted in the spring. They climbed all the way up the crepe myrtle outside the dining room window, and now they're way up at the top, blooming. They're blue and white. They're beautiful. One of them is similar to the color of this shirt. The other one's a deeper blue and white, kind of striated like this. And there were moths flopping into them, and there was huge spider web at the top, between kind of the top of the roof of the house and the top of um, the crepe myrtle. Beautiful. And my tomatoes are still going. It's October 15th. Haven't had a frost yet. And I love smelling the tomato plant, just the leaves. And it's not going to be much longer that I can do that in real time. My cypress vine, oh my God, those things spit out 10,000 seeds. I was trying to sweep some of them up so that it doesn't go too crazy next spring. But I love cypress vine. I love watching the hummingbird. They attract hummingbirds and other pollinators, but especially hummingbirds. And there's still a sense that it's not enough just to be me in my context, in my life, with my kids and my husband. That's another deep core belief that I uncovered. Just like it's not only that I'm not enough, according to this deep core belief, also it's not enough to be me. It's not enough to be one person. Certainly not this person. Again, not something that like my higher self believes or whatever, but something that is encoded in my body. It's not enough to be me. I need to transcend myself and I need to take care of everyone, not just my family. Like, everyone needs to be safe. And I'm abdicating just my decency if I'm not. Straining every sinew to save the world. Whatever issue has grabbed my imagination for whatever reason, gotta solve it. Gotta keep hacking away at it till it's solved. We've gotta smite the enemies who are standing in the way. Rhetorically. Take back some of that power that I didn't have when I was a kid. But it's all reach, 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 grasp, 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 out, out, out. Never here. Never me. I think that's the difference between my first book and my second book. The first one I could say, oh, that's not about me. It's about Palestine. It's about saving Palestine. It's about educating about Palestine. My second book, it's all me. It's my adventures as a person, my thoughts, my take on philosophical conundrums. How dare I? Is it okay to just be me? It seems audacious. And that's what I've been led to believe. It's not good enough to just be me. As many times as I've seen through that here, it's still in here. It's okay. It's good enough to just be me. So much pain comes when I say that. I guess I'll work with that for a bit.